At this point, I just honestly hope that some of you guys still remember me, but if you guys don't, or if you guys are new here, then hello everyone, this is Annie. I'm a clay artist from India trying my best to survive, and I make cute clay things to keep my inner child happy and hopefully give you all a little serotonin boost. I'm so sorry for not uploading long videos for the last 6-7 months. A lot has been happening, but this is going to be a long video because today I am taking you behind the scenes and showing you guys the entire process of me making clay charms. Like, we are literally starting with making our own clay. So yeah, it's going to be a long video. I hope you get your favorite drink, favorite snack, get comfy, and yeah, let's get started. The very first thing that I personally need to do is to make the clay. Now, of course, if you're using polymer clay, air dry clay, terracotta clay, you can completely skip this step. But if you're making your own clay, then come on, let's make it together. By the way, if you're wondering, yes, you can absolutely buy store-bought cold porcelain. They are readily available on Amazon nowadays. The reason I like to make it at home is because I can adjust the consistency, the colors, and yeah, I find the process pretty satisfying. So all you need to do to make your own cold porcelain is combine a few ingredients. So it's equal parts of PVA glue and cornstarch, and then a few other ingredients like vinegar, oil, and a little bit of white paint, which is completely optional. And then you're just going to mix everything until it's completely lump free. If there are any small lumps, that's okay, but just try to break down any big lumps that you might have. And then you're going to heat it either on the stove or on the microwave until it forms a ball of clay. If you want to see a more detailed video, I do have a lot of them on my channel. I will link them in the description, and I will also have the recipe in the description box for you guys to check that out. I cannot believe that I made the clay with the tablecloth on, and it's funny because every single time I make one of these clay videos, there would be at least one comment who is like, "My gosh, the step is so messy." It's not, like, genuinely it's not. If you're careful enough, then it's not that messy. It's art, you know, you're not performing a surgery. Art is always a little bit messy. Okay, anyways, the clay is made. Let's store it, and then we will move on to the next step. Bro, don't tell me that you are tired just by making the clay. Like, come on, we are coloring the clay. This is where the fun begins. So this is probably one of my favorite steps. I get to combine all these colors and see them all together. So I have been using these tiny containers recently, but I will say that they are not airtight. However, a lot of you guys wanted links for those, so I will have that in the description. So for actually coloring the clay, I usually use 3 mediums, which are chalk pastel, food color, or acrylic colors. However, I will say that cold porcelain is very forgiving, so you can actually try using many different mediums and see what works out the best for you. Previously, I have also used oil colors, I have also used watercolors, and some worked better than the others, but I will say mostly all of them worked. Slightly sad news is cold porcelain needs at least 24 hours of rest before you can start sculpting. This is one tip that every single cold porcelain maker will recommend you guys, and think of it this way, that because you just made the clay, the molecules just had a lot of heat, lot of activity, so they need time to relax and adjust and form that bond. Next day, the texture is just so much better. It will form less cracks, it will feel nicer to work with, and overall your clay charms will remain very smooth. So while our clay is resting, let's do some business stuffs, because surprise, running an art small business is way more than just making the art. Okay, so this is a new business upgrade I'm making, so I am kind of excited. As you guys already know, each of the charms in my shop is completely handmade by me, so it takes me 4 to 6 weeks to make, pack and ship everything, which is a really long time. I do not want to keep them in this dark phase. I do want to let them know what is happening with their orders and updates about their orders. So this time around, what I'm doing is actually creating an email newsletter, and the platform I'm using for this is Omnisend. Omnisend is basically an email and SMS marketing platform that lets you create newsletters, send email campaigns, automate customer updates all in one single place. So all you need to do is create your account, and then you can either directly connect your store with Omnisend, or what I have done is created a spreadsheet of all the customer emails and then uploaded it to Omnisend. So as you can see here, I had 77 orders and I uploaded all the 77 emails to Omnisend. Now I can create the actual campaign, and I really love the fact that Omnisend has so many of these beautiful templates that you can choose from. I think I will be going for this green template because green is a part of my branding now, and then you have complete freedom to just edit the text, images, everything as you want, and it's pretty intuitive. And yeah, it's done. It literally took me less than 5 minutes to put this all together because the template did half of the work. And this is how the first slide looks, and this is how the second slide looks. And now all I need to do is select my audience and send it over, and yeah, it's done. Everyone now has the update that I am coloring my clay today. And it just took me 5 minutes to do it, whereas I was spending hours and hours replying to all these emails individually. Personally, I have seen a big difference when I started using email newsletter to communicate with my audiences, because with the changing algorithm, you cannot just depend on social media. So if you have a small business and have been wanting to try out an email list and actually want people to know about every single updates, then try out Omnisend. Use the link in my description to make your own Omnisend account to let them know that I sent you guys, or you can scan the QR code given on the screen. Thank you so much Omnisend for sponsoring today's video and supporting our channel, and thank you guys for your continuous support. Now that we're done with the business stuffs, let's start sculpting. A lot of people ask me this one thing, that what is one of the easiest thing that you can make as a beginner clay artist, and I'm going to give you guys a suggestion that I know a lot of you guys are not going to follow, okay, but listen, I have a theory. Okay, so to give you guys an example, I will be using this flower cutter and I will show you how to make a very easy flower charm. Okay, let's go. I have this simple theory that I think people continue that hobbies which they think are relatively easier and relaxing. If the first thing you are taking is something too difficult and you just could not recreate it, you will obviously be disappointed with the results. So there are chances that you will just not continue with that hobby. So start with something that is easy to recreate. In that case, if you need to use molds and cutters, please go ahead and do that. These are very inexpensive and this will last you a very long time. Tools like this can be a very great starting point and can show you the potential that you can actually make things better and more perfect in the future. So once you are comfortable with these easier designs, you need to level up your game a little bit more. I will give you a perfect example. I think my Totoro design or the no face that I made are really easy things that you can make because they are just bunch of circles that you're connecting together. I think even my pocket animals like pocket frog, pocket cat, pocket bunnies are also things that can very easily be made because again, those are just circles that you are attaching together. So I think it's a very perfect starting point to make complex charms. And then eventually you can go ahead and make the more complex things. For example, my dango bear. And in the dango bear, you will see that there are very small components, very small details that you need to make. And I don't know how many of you guys know this, but smaller details are actually more difficult to make. A lot of people have this misconception that smaller things should be cheaper because the material used is less, but that's a very huge misconception when it comes to handmade stuffs, because when you're hand making things, smaller things are way more detailed and way more difficult to make than the bigger stuffs. So whenever you are making charms or whenever you are starting your journey, I always recommend you to go from bigger pieces eventually to smaller pieces so that you are way more comfortable with the medium and just know how the medium behaves before you start making those small details.
And when you go, I will fall back find pieces of me all over the yard. In this house of cards, she says, hey man, there were just too many days when our good intentions only got in the way.
I think it's a little cringe to say, but I genuinely think that the sky is the limit when it comes to creativity. You can experiment with magnets in your charms, you can insert little spinners into your charms and just make it a lot more creative, a lot more fun, and that totally depends on you. But once you get the basics right, it's really easy for you to incorporate all of these other things into your art. Okay, I felt like I was giving a lecture. So now that we are done sculpting, let me show you how to exactly dry your clay charms so that they do not lose their shape and there is not that weird dent. Okay, so watch very carefully. The many reasons why your clay charms might be forming that weird dent at the back is because you are not drying them properly. So cold porcelain is a medium that shrinks a lot while it's drying, and if the back side of your charm is already flat or if you have kept it on a flat surface, it will bend inwards. So what you need to do is take a very soft fabric, layer it up if you need to, and then place the clay charms on there for around 3-4 days without disturbing them and without moving them at all. And after 3-4 days, once they are a little bit dry, you can actually transfer it in any other container that you need, but the surface needs to be dried. For example, this bare worry stone I made was not dry yet, so I kept it again for drying for another 2-3 days, and I did not transfer it like the others. So I just finished sculpting like the bears, so of course I cannot glaze them right now, but there are a few charms that are dried. I recently made a worry stone. I also made these Ghibli charms a few weeks ago. So they are completely dry. I will glaze them and give you some tips as I go. I do have a detailed video where I talk about glazing gears and all the glazing necessities. So I will link that in the description. But yeah, for now, let's glaze those babies up. Now, I do want to mention that I like to insert my eye pins before I start glazing. And that's because I can hold onto the eye pins using my plier while I glaze the entire charm. I also know a lot of artists who glaze the front of their charms first and then the back side, and then they insert the eye pin at the very end. But this is just the way I am more comfortable with, but you can of course do whatever you want. Of course, when you are glazing worry stones or desk fronts, they do not have an eye pin, so that time you have to work in steps. Okay, now we are glazing. Wear your respirators. You also need to wear gloves, by the way, which I'm not wearing in this particular clip, and that's because I ran out of it. But yeah, please wear it if it's your first time working with resin. When you're working with resin, try to work in long strokes rather than short ones. The main trick while you're glazing is not to use too much or too little. If you use too much, then the resin will start dripping. If you use too less, then it will start to seize from the sides. Once you have glazed the entire charm, I like to shake it a little bit so that the resin kind of settles itself, and then I put it inside a UV lamp. I also would recommend getting good quality UV lamp as well as good quality resin. If both of these products are good quality, then half of your problems are already solved, because there are a lot of cheap company resins that just do not cure or take a very long time to cure. Personally, the resin I got was 24,000 for 1 kg of resin, which is very expensive, but it also cures within 90 seconds. So that's the pro feature of this resin. Now, I know a lot of people like unglazed pieces, but according to me, I just think that glazing just completes the entire piece and it just looks so smooth. And yeah, that's how a sugar cafe charm is made from start to finish. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care and always keep your inner child happy. Bye.